find yourselves on the road between Isherin and Western Evening Star. The last you saw, Erlin was flying northeast toward Mineral Springs, as far as you can imagine. When is the last time you saw Ed? What is Spanbauer doing with Sahendrian? You sense that time is short. You have maybe a day. Whatever you need to set at peace, you should. You may not get another chance. You can imagine 3 places to sleep tonight: Rand's hideaway, the wine cellar underneath the northern bunker, the cave just inside Mineral Springs where Tilda had her birthday party, the Lonesome Tankard, an old tavern with a missing proprietor where an old woman is making a room for her son. And now, as you look west over the tree line, imagining the goings on at Elturel beyond the horizon and the Sword Coast further beyond still, you imagine the sun setting on all of it. All of it. Forever and ever and still forevers beyond that. One tall shadow to eclipse the sun. The sun now is cleaving the trees on the horizon, and in your heart of hearts, you hope that someone can pick the domain of the sun from the dust and remember to hang it in the opposite end of the sky come morn. It is becoming late in the afternoon quickly. You still have some daylight to work with for now. Less than a 10-day has passed since the weather report. They lied to you. Time does not fly. It throws you down an embankment and never catches you at the bottom. The action is with the party.
How far are we from the square of the Evening Star?
It'll take you about an hour and a half, 2 miles.
Not far.
Not far, but this trail isn't very direct. You sense that by the time you arrive there, it'll probably be just around sundown.
I think we go.
Well, I don't think the North Guard Tower is tended. Rand used to squirrel away rum and other liquors that he could find in the cellar of the North Guard Tower. I think the elves aren't there. The Evening Stars aren't there. We could hole up for a night. Nobody would bother us.
You do know I paid for everyone's rooms at the inn, right? Is it suddenly out of the question now that there's a man with a big sword walking around?
I mean, there's also the factor of my lab. I have plenty of beds. Surely more comfortable than a cellar.
The tankard might be a little bit obvious. I'm suddenly feeling a little bit exposed in this town.
To whom?
The Purple Dragon Knight we just saw. Maybe one of the Vampire Griffin Riders.
It was an anxiety I tucked deep down. I think we can wave our hand to the idea of the Purple Dragon Knight slitting your throat in the night. We bent the knee and he let you go. If you wanted us dead there and then, he would have done it. You're not wrong, though. The ruse on the end are not exactly Griffin-proof, are they?
I'd sleep at the inn if everybody wanted, but I'm just offering a different opportunity for us.
Well, we can poke around, see how cozy it is.
Certainly, I'm at the end of my thread here.
I think we all are, Tilda. In either case, to retable some things that we were speaking of, some of you need rest more than the rest of us. Some of us should read up on this Aboleth, and I, in particular, need to drop by Julian's workshop.
If you drop by, I think we all drop by. I don't think splitting up is safe or prudent anymore.
I tend to agree. at least it's on the way.
That it is. Search and take what you need. Rest up as we're there. We can sleep wherever you want to sleep, Tilda.
Noe leans down to Tilda, sort of in the hubbub of people discussing where they're going to sleep, and says, "Is this about avoiding your mother?"
Tilda will turn a shade of red, and then raise her chin a bit and say, "No, we made up. It's not about that at all. I don't know what to tell you, but I just think it's right not to sleep there."
I believe you. I suppose I don't know.
You know what? Okay, you're right. It is a little bit.
She nods at that.
Very well. If we're all trying to avoid our parents all we can, the tower wouldn't do too poorly. Hey, this fancy new little... He'll reach into his sack. I did forget. He does still have the fancy bedroll that he took from the kid. One of his very last few worldly possessions. You need to give it a try.
Well, shall we go back to town and see maybe what the situation is before we commit one way or another? I think we're all agreed that none of us are particularly attached to the inn. And there's the manor of that elf. And she sort of points towards Kaysen that was yours. Who stormed out.
What about that?
Are we avoiding him?
I think it's a bit more the opposite. He's running into trouble doing whatever he does, and I think he's always going to be 2 steps ahead. So I don't think he's any danger to us unless he thinks we're in the way.
Well, aren't we going to be in the way if he wants the sword and we want it as well?
Would it be irresponsible to cross that bridge when we get to it? Probably.
Kaysen, what is the deal with you and Arlen?
Solarian. They sort of sound similar, but...
Oh, you're talking about Solarian.
Yes. Solarin?
I thought it was Solar. Kaysen, please help.
Solarin.
Solarian, I'm so sorry.
I wish I could say he wasn't always like this. I don't know if I was just blind to it or if things have gotten worse, but he's just so single-minded lately. I just don't think things will ever go back to the way they were. There were good days, but it seems like there won't be more.
Kaysen, I know this guy is like your guy, but you could do better than him.
No,
Did he do something? Did I miss something? Did he do something besides just get stabbed? And was rude?
He, that book that I gave to Tilda, he killed someone over it who wasn't even involved.
Her expression sobers at that and she nods.
Oh, that little tiny matter of him trying to become a god.
Yeah, aspiring god killer is, that's certainly something. I've moved on. I'm trying to. I suppose it's a process, but despite everything, I still don't want him to die, you know?
And you're sure that his ambitions are truly his own?
I mean, I think this all started long before we came anywhere near Evening Star. Yeah, this has been a quest for a while. I'm sure being in this area isn't helping.
Kason, it's one thing to prevent somebody from dying in front of you. It's another thing to save somebody from themselves. Can we... I'm sorry to do this in front of everybody, but... Do you have to save him from himself?
I don't know if it's possible.
Some people just don't want to be saved.
He said he was working on this for 10 years. And he talked to me like I would do the same as him, which is honestly idiotic.
At that point, he's probably lost to his fanaticism over the years, and he's gone. There's probably no convincing him. As much as I would love to try as all of you, even I know when to throw in the towel.
I don't mean to get between you and whatever you have to work through, Kason, but this guy sucks.
He did
Yeah,
seem
it's,
particular kind of awful.
Yeah.
He did kind of take 2 of my potions and told me to piss off.
Guess what? This seems to be the running course of any healing done here, isn't it? Patch up Erlen, fuck off. Patch up Silveron, fuck off.
It's
Lauren.
it's a reigning reason why I'm just not impressed with elves lately.
Hmm.
It doesn't have to be like that. That's
No, it's not.
You know,
It's not
the
the fact they're
elven
elves.
arrogance going around.
it can just be arrogance, okay? Don't get all self-hating on me, please.
Well, I think one could say the same about the residents of Evening Star, and I suppose the difference is we understand and agree with what they think they're fighting for. Well, maybe not agree. I know Ed wants to raise his dead wife.
What a disappointment. He left us to die out there.
He's not himself. I know I keep saying this, but it's truly we're speaking to hollowed out fragments of Shar herself at this point. All he is grief.
If I had been talking to Kellamvor right now, would I have been able to say, oh, he's not himself right now? Or would have I had stronger words for him? At a certain point, you stand up to what you don't believe in. We gave him so many opportunities. I understand, no way, you have sympathy for him, but... Man,
Or maybe it's more of you just only know how to stand for the thing you believe in, no matter the other conflicting perspectives.
I mean, that's what it is to be a paladin, to take an oath. And I think, I don't know. I think if I were to ever get married, maybe this is stupid.
no, it's not stupid.
If I vowed my life with someone and to build that life together with someone, and someone somewhere told me it's possible to bring them back, I thought they were gone forever, but there is a way that I could bring them back from the realms of Kellamvor, where they must be suffering and sad, and at least apart from me and our children. Would it not be the right thing to do to try? It's just somewhere along the way, I think he got snared into something that is using that loving part of him for something twisted.
Try, he could have waited 5 minutes. What's a lifetime compared to 5 minutes?
He hurt his son.
Were you Were you able to was he at home earlier? Would it be worth trying to check in on him again?
I left Rick a note. I still hope to be able to talk to him at some point tonight. I think To be honest, if it comes to killing Ed or letting him achieve something against the laws of nature, I will kill him. I've resolved that, but I need to talk to his son first.
You have resolved that? Oh boy. He's powerful. I kind of fear him.
It would be a real loss for Evening Star. I keep thinking, what are we going to do without him? And then feeling like it's bad to start to try to plan a life without him in it.
You do the same thing all of you beautiful little humans do. You lose your kin faster than we do. You grieve for a time deeply, and you feel the roots that they left behind. I spent all of my money for decades, lifetimes in your place, trying to find my brother. I spent all of that money wishing I could bring him back. And then I had one little letter sent to me, and I came to terms with the fact that I don't think he wanted to be here. Whatever they did to him down there brought him to a point he didn't want to be here with me. We keep pining on and on of what Ed wants. We never asked what she wanted.
His
Maybe
name
you'll
was
find that from Rick.
Lorne, right?
It was.
I'm so sorry, Rain.
Me too. He at first locks eyes at wherever you're keeping the little fob that Rain had handed you, but then casts their gaze down to the saber at yourself.
I think sometimes it makes sense that Umberly chose you just in the sense that the sea is as salty as all the tears you must have swallowed over your brother.
You see the level of solemnness that he has about speaking about his brother just kind of break at that. He reddens in the cheeks and smiles. I didn't know you were a poet, Noah. As it stands, I think all of us are really coming to grips with this may some of our last night here in Evening Star. I think that whatever happens tomorrow in that cave will be the final chapters in some people's lives. An underline in Evening Star's history.
I hope it's not ours. It feels like Evening Stars bobbed on the current like a fly tied by a fisherman.
I'll jot that one down.
I'll smile at that. And I will turn swiftly to Jucky. Jucky, what did you talk to Alcinerad about?
Wanted to bring him up to speed on what is possibly going on in Evening Star. It seems like y'all haven't quite figured it out yourselves.
We're just trying to stay alive here. Is Alcinerad pissed?
He is, distraught, you might say.
Well, I hope he's not disappointed in you. You did everything you could. We all did. I wish he had sent us in there with more reserves. I don't understand. I feel like we were set up for failure.
By no offense to you, Jockey.
Of course, of course.
I mean this more to you, Tilda, to put it into perspective. Alcinerad is, by all accounts, the druid Elminster. Not Elminster. Yeah, Elminster, sorry.
Hmm.
The druid
Interesting.
Elementor, he's incredibly strong, powerful. But you saw their camp, and they had 2 griffins among them. Threadbare at best. Would you, in his position, Grand Archdruid of the Forest, his own new holy land just settling foot, send your best friends in to danger?
I guess
This,
it would depend on how important it was, I guess.
I have a feeling if we never came out, Moore and Green would have marched in. So yes, it's crude, it's crass, but it's pragmatic. A ragtag group of humans and elves that aren't of his kin. Of course he'd send them.
I'll look at Chucky to gauge his reaction to this political speech.
Jucky is still kind of blank faced.
Of course you're right, Rain, but it's hard to be on the other side of pragmatism.
Talking to Alcenarat, it didn't seem like pragmatism. It seemed like he strongly believed that spilling elven blood of any make there would be a heresy of some kind. He asked us for help. Help that only we, as humans, and I suppose people of not of his faith could give.
And in some regards, it's a means of looking forward to the future of Evening Star. If these 50,000 Mithranorians are a myth, and there may be 500 strong marching at him, and say Alcenarat works his weave, moves the forest against them, and the Evening Star ends, and these elven sun worshippers are all that remains. It's like its own standing stone, more written in words and action than anything else. Perhaps you can erect a monument in its honor.
I'll look at Chucky and I'll look at Rain, well aware of myself being handled, and say, I'm sorry if I'm being insensitive. It's just hard to see people get taken advantage of. Happens to me all the time, and it's so hard to see in other people. And I'm sorry, Chucky, I just don't want to see that happen to you. And I appreciate that. I really don't know what's going on here.
But you're
You-
curious and willing.
For my own situation, my family owes Alcinerat more than we could possibly ever repay.
That's fair. I sense that Chucky doesn't want further questioning, and I will relent.
Isn't your brother supposed to be in town?
Supposedly my mother found him, and he's on the way. I expected he would be here. I expected to find him here at Isherin. Looking for a sword? Famous paladin used to wield it? Come on. This is perfect for a stupid boy like him.
Did your mother ever talk about, I don't know, lost temples of Selûne nearby, by any chance?
Anything I should know about past improv?
No.
There are temples of Selûne everywhere, but this region is not exactly rife with places of worship. As you know, it's kind of no god cares about us, except maybe Shantea.
I doubt this is the ruminations of another lapse of judgment. Do you have a wedge here, and perhaps are you reaching for something to fight the sun god?
Certainly, the idea of a sun god does not appeal to me very much. Sun is good for growing crops and not much else. And Lathander, no offense, Kaysen, hasn't answered anyone's prayers in my entire lifetime.
Yeah, I wasn't aware of the whole dormancy thing, and he really rubbed that one in.
People around here really don't like him, if I'm being honest. At least Salune still answers prayers. You know, I've had the expectation of being a Salunite all my life, and really, it's kind of embarrassing to think. Ugh, following the moon goddess? Come on, it's so embarrassing. But I don't doubt her. As opposed to Lathander, you'd have to be an idiot. Sorry, Kaysen. You got past it. I know. I'm not trying to knock you in any way, but that's Solaron guy. Whew.
Yeah, I wonder if part of his ambition doesn't come from years of disappointment, because I mean, you know, we went into our order before the spell plague happened, but there were plenty of years where we were following Lathander and didn't hear anything, and his belief didn't waver, and I wonder if that took a bit of a toll on him.
If his belief didn't waver, why is his belief only in himself?
Well, it certainly changed, but
Hmm.
I don't know. I
Yeah.
think following a lost god has different effects on different people. I'd tried to move on. I think he maybe holds it against Lathander.
I cannot speak for the terrible things that he may or may not have done to try to ascend to power, but I have to admit that there is a certain amount of, I think, responsibility to someone devoted to an order if you see a lapse in leadership. Why wouldn't you try to step up to fill that?
There are other options other than him becoming the object of the apotheosis.
I
I
don't.
could.
You said yourself nobody likes Lathander. Apparently, nobody else wants his domain. Did you
You always
not
know what to
respect him
say.
for
No way.
trying?
All right, fine. You're right. I'm wrong.
He's still a jerk. Don't get me wrong, but
Yeah.
I don't think. I don't know.
You
I
have a lot
speak
more
as
leniency for everyone. No way.
well. I speak as someone who has made a decision I cannot take back.
I mean, I can relate to his ambition, I suppose. You follow a god or interact with a god for power, and they suddenly stop answering you. And then suddenly you're on your own. You have to suddenly find yourself relying on your own power.
Who
Some
is he?
people have to explore other avenues, and he took a more spiteful approach and decided to usurp those who had been the one that abandoned him.
Who did you used to talk to? Juliet? I can't imagine.
Mistra, I was
Mistra. Oh, yeah, that makes total sense.
yes, I was very well in tune with the weave, and I could do quite a bit of magic. And then, well, you know the story of our world, and suddenly I couldn't touch the weave anymore. And so I had to explore my avenue in other ways. So I had to find my own power, and that's how alchemy was my method. Extract the magic and potential out of the materials in the world and use that as my strength. Rain is similar, but went for
Yeah.
a different approach with alchemy.
What was that squeak out of Rain?
He said, well,
I know.
to some degree, yes. The extraction of the magics and what have yous, but the severance, the great spell plague, didn't have the same effects on me.
Which is good. I'm very
I do
happy.
not pray to Mistra for what I do. Turns out I prayed to some primordial fire god there for a hot minute. That was alarming.
I can understand. It seems pretty enticing at the moment.
I don't. Hmm. Perhaps you do.
But I guess with how our world has come to be in the past many years, desperation is overtaking people vehemently. So, unfortunately, Solaren is just another example of it.
I think sometimes it's easier to go as fast as your feet can carry you down a path than to admit that either something was taken from you or you lost your ability to connect with something for a time.
Some people see it that way. I disagree. I think everybody should take a moment and think and process, but with how things are, feels like they feel like they just don't have that. And in reality, it's like everybody always has a moment or two, but ambition, pride, anxiety, or any other thing just overtakes them in the moment.
I just want to say, present company, I know 3 of you personally. I watched you stand up to the thing that would cause this, that would be the lever against your soul and come out for the better. And I want to say I'm really proud of you both, all 3 of you. I'll point at Rain, Noe, and Kason. I understand you have a soft spot for people who haven't had the strength to do that, but all 3 of you have, and I'm proud to stand next to you. That is not easy. I have never been tested. You 3 have in the past week, and of all past.
You say you have not been tested. Your fucking house blew up. Your mother is irate. Your brother ran off. You've been cleaving twain twice. You've been blown up by a box. I would say, by all means, Tilda, you've been fucking tested. You belittle yourself.
Yes, that you still have love and excitement for the world beyond our town is a miracle, honestly.
Tilda will blush and say, "Please, I appreciate it. I don't know. I don't know. I'm not as impressive as you guys, but thank you so much."
You may not think so at the moment, but you truly have done some extraordinary things in the past week. I think
Now, Juliet, I believe.
you have a magnificent amount of potential. Do not downplay yourself whatsoever. You just need time. That is all. And I would love nothing more than to see you grow into that potential.
Well, we're all together. What will we all do together?
Our best.
With less of a rhetorical answer, we'd march down there. We'd try our best. This is sounding a bit more exactly like what your rhetorical answer was, wasn't it?
Frighteningly.
Hmm.
We do our best and then some.
And then some. Like that.
As there are magic and potential in everything, the plants, the wind, the elements. We too have those, and they can be drawn out. So if you think you're at your limit, you absolutely are not.
I know there's more inside of me, and I know there's more inside of all of you.
Agreed.
I will walk up to Kaysen, who appears in a daze.
Sorry, that's me out of character, feeling a little bit nauseous, so I had my eyes closed.
It's appropriate. I'm so sorry. Kaysen, do you want me to shut up about Solaron?
No, it's okay. I need the reality check and just sometimes you just need your own ideas challenged, and I'm trying to hold firm in my decision that I am not going to go running back to someone who's nothing but problems. I think it's possible to still really care about a person and want everything to work out for them aside from the whole god killing thing. You can want someone to live but not walk the same road as them.
That was very diplomatic. I've never had a shitty ex-boyfriend, but boy, I can imagine this is one of them.
Things are complicated, but most of the time life was happy. I don't regret anything except that I was just blind to things that I might have been able to stop before things came to where they were. But I think that the same could be said for a number of people that we've had to deal with in the last few days of, if someone had been able to do something sooner. But I think some people just can't be wrenched from the path they're on, at least not easily.
Okay, so let me ask you a question.
Hmm.
Imagine you didn't know Solaron, and I knew him, and I walked up to him in that hallway, and he talked to me like that. How would you feel?
I probably would have smacked him.
Cool.
I very much considered doing so after he called you simple, but I saw him reaching for his empty sword sheath, and I was really hoping he would just be on his merry way after that.
I don't think there's much
I always
merry
knew that he
about him.
didn't- I always knew that he didn't think highly of humans, but this was just a disappointing reality check.
It appears many people don't. It's tough out there.
That's why I don't tend to seek the company of elves in general. I'm fairly picky, I suppose. I don't know. I like humans, and that's not a very popular opinion lately.
Well, the elves I've known have been fantastic in my life.
I've known plenty of good ones as well, so.
But I understand. I'm not caught between two worlds like you are. I totally don't understand what you're going through. I'm sorry.
Speaking of elves, I wonder how Kareen's doing.
It's
True.
about a forest.
We're talking about researching the aboleth. Is it already dead?
By all accounts, maybe. I have doubts, all things considered. Yeah, I've heard of an aboleth, and I know vaguely insofar as that they're terrifying, ethereal beings. I'm not so positive one would be channeling the artifice of Shar, or one that was capable of sending out miles-long psychic storms. Psychic things, yes.
Yeah.
We saw Ed in that tomb, and he ran off with his bones of his lover. That's far away from Evening Star.
That's true.
So either this permutation that bleeds over everything is immense, or he might have just been doing the things he wanted to do. Or he might have just been cursed. Also possible. Perhaps a
Seems to be going
culmination
around.
of. I'm sorry, what?
Well, I was just saying, it seems to be going around.
It does. It's like a hotbed. You have covens of vampires, you have an aboleth, you have a loth worshipping spider thing, psychic storms, you have magical flowers that bring back the dead, and all in your little cozy village. Oh, yes,
That's
I
really-
forgot the whole sun god part.
It's funny, I'm terrified of spiders, and yet we've had the least amount of trouble from all that. None, actually.
Count that as a good thing, then?
I won't look a gift spider in the mouth. It's a terrible image. Sorry about that. Should we?
Spiders
go
don't
through
have mouths.
Don't
They have Calycer eyes. It's like
You
the
fool.
little chompy bit. You know, it's not a mouth. Anyway, sorry. One thing I did want to say. When we faced that Black Dragon Knight in there, it might have been easier if everybody was here. I will look at Julianne sharply. Can we actually stay together and work as a unit?
Yes. I vehemently apologize for the situation. I regret it deeply. I was lost in thought, and fortunately, when I came to, it had already happened.
Now, hold on. Okay. We weren't supposed to be spoiling for a fight anyway. Not that I blame you, youngin', on account of the things he said about your father. Someone talks that way about your family. You should certainly set them straight. But the fact of the matter is, you got lucky. All right? What did we do today? Huh? Anybody remember?
Survived.
We killed a vampire.
We killed what many thought could not be killed. And then 2 of you took a bomb to the face. All right? We were exhausted, been on the road, been in a legendary fight, right? He was in the right place at the right time. And the next time I see him, I'm gonna kill him.
I feel like I just got bardic inspiration from that. That was a good pep.
Tilda will stand up a little straighter. From a tactician like you, Chucky, that means a lot.
Attack what now?
Well, should we see if the sky has fallen down while we've been away?
Don't jinx it.
With our luck, it just might, I suppose.
Tilda appears done harassing people for the moment.
Should you wish to travel north as you continue to talk, please indicate that. Everyone is nodding. Is anyone not ready? Okay, one moment. you find yourselves a bit closer to Evening Star. Up on the road, the high road up ahead, you can see the silhouette of a wagon.
From here, is it obvious that they're clad in red?
It is, yes. You can tell. In fact, we can be far more specific than that. It is clear from here that they are soldiers of the Flaming Fist.
Do they seem like situated at the crossroads, or are they moving west?
Hard to tell their intent from this distance. You're still
Okay.
at least 100 feet away. You see their silhouettes, you see the color of their armor, but it's difficult to ascertain their intent or what they're doing. They're definitely doing something. The wagon's not moving. You can tell that, Rain.
Okay. Well, Julianne, once more, I believe you are up.
I think they're setting up a sort of trap guarding that crossroad, or that they're working on something up there.
Or, given the luck of this town, perhaps they lost a wheel while transporting melon. Let's hope.
Alcinrod did say something about us being able to travel through the trees a little easier. We try to sneak by.
Very much is true.
We don't
I
have
can
much to
move.
hide from them.
No, knowing them, they either passing
I
through
can-
or just collecting dues.
Well, it means we have a lot to hide from them. However, we're all past that point now. Good.
I can blend in the trees pretty well if I could scout up ahead.
Well, we probably met these same folks a few hours ago. It was amiable last time, and no Ed just tried to punch them in the face, so. Eh.
Are we definitely against asking the Flaming Fist for assistance?
Oh, yes.
All right.
By all accounts, the last people that know that there's a blade of gods in a cave for some eldritch being. I don't particularly want the fist of all the peoples of this world to have it. I'd be more likely to take that thing away from you and you'd be shackled in chains to it. You belong here.
Mhm.
You're the leader
They could use
now.
it for their own and collect more taxes for whatever they feel like they need it for. I'll admit they're good for funding. They're an excellent source of funding, but I have no loyalty to them otherwise. I was loyal to my teacher, who was part of the Flaming Fist, who had his own endeavors through them, and unfortunately he got caught up in the moment years and years ago and thought they were doing good. And, well, like any organization, you eventually find out maybe they're not. But anyway, yes, I am with you. We shouldn't ask them for help.
Not even against the army marching from Mithranor.
That bit probably would do well for you, yes. Descending their men is much better than your guard.
Oh, yeah, no, that I agree with, I'm sure. If they were told that's like, oh, a territory that they want to control and, continue to prosper off of was going to be suddenly invaded, they should probably do well to defend it, yes?
Yeah, so if there is going to be any conversation with them, and I'm not saying we have to, but it would be good to try to angle towards that and less about the blade and wellspring.
Yes, we're simply doing our due diligence. Your Lady St. Cyr, going on a diplomatic mission to speak to the Grand Druid Arsenerat for your people. And now he's telling us that his people, or those other elves, are traveling against him, traveling straight from Evening Star. Delightful. You see Rain start to become sort of bubbly around the idea of sending the Flaming Fist off against an army.
I told them about the elves. They didn't believe me.
Have them send an envoy to Alcenara.
That
Perhaps they
would be
wouldn't.
pretty amusing.
Oh, wouldn't it?
Noe looks towards Julianne, sort of a little worried, and she says, "Is this something better done under your jurisdiction or mine?"
Probably mine, as I'm supposed to be the envoy. At the very least, they would listen to an alleged one of their own, more so than somebody they're trying to look down upon.
Across the table, I can hide in partial cover as if it was full. I just didn't know this for like the first 70% of the game. I saw that ruler.
So,
I hate it.
if you
I'm
wish to
sorry.
go around them, you can.
Tilda will say to Noe slightly quietly, as usual, I think you're the best person to talk to these people.
I'm not going to pull rank on Julianne.
I don't know about rank or not, but you're so good at diffusing situations.
Can I be honest with you? I'm really tired. It would be so nice to be able to rely on the adults around us in the way that they promised to stand up for us just this once, just this once. But if you, Tilda, think
I'll grab Noe's arm before she finishes. You're totally right. Fuck all this. Let's hang back and watch it explode.
she gives her a wobbly smile that's like very concerned and also kind of excited, maybe she's not sure how to feel about this, and then they walk forward together.
As you approach, pause for 1 second. Let me give you some additional information for as you approach. You see a wagon that looks heavily laden. It's stuck in the rut where the high road drops off to Maple Street in Evening Star. There are a pair of mage hands pushing on the butt of the wagon, which seems completely stuck in the mud. The three Flaming Fist soldiers are studying the scene.
Tilda, do you think I could become, I don't know, like an investigator of Waterdeep?
Of course. Of course.
Just points to the cart in the rut.
Tilda will laugh and say, yeah, let's do it.
You know they're going to ask for help, though.
Yeah, but look at us. I'll point to Rain, I'll point to myself. We're not the ones they're going to ask.
Hmm.
We're better at other things. Don't worry about it. I'll point to Kaysen and be like, he's going to be the first to be asked. Don't worry about it.
Rain will just laugh and nod.
As the lot of you approach, the Flaming Fist soldiers turn and look at you. Julianne, you recognize that the man to your left is their Blaze, their major. And as you approach, he says, Our saviors, please, could we get a hand? With the four of you, the three of us, could we put a little muscle into it? I've got... He touches his coin pouch. I've got a couple silver for you.
Julian will give the flaming fist salute and simply say, "No money required. I am at the very least willing to help you get out of this little situation of yours."
Please, please. For a moment, he looks at you and you wonder if there's a glimmer of recognition. It's hard to tell. But as you approach, the 3 Flaming Fist soldiers approach the cart and try to size it up, getting behind it, looking for the best way to approach to get it out of the mud.
Okay, now that you said mud, Jucky is in his element, okay? Because if there's one thing a swamp elf knows, it's mud.
I think
So
that's
Jucky goes over there, and he's like, here's your problem. He says, you need to put something in front of the wheel so it can become detached from the mud. Perhaps your shield would manage.
I'll look around for some branches.
Tilda will turn to Noe and say, "Sit this one out. Watch me fuck this up for everyone."
He nods at you, almost sagely. That makes so much sense, Jucky. Is what is expressed via his eyes, and he points to his Manip, who drops to one knee, putting his shield under the afflicted wheel. The 3 of them all give it a shove. Does anyone help?
Jucky will help.
Okay.
Tilda will help, but not before whispering, "Friction is reduced by a solid object." You have bardic inspiration.
Who's you?
Jucky.
Jucky. If you help, roll a strength ability check. Let me know what your total is. I'm going to roll.
What die is your inspiration?
D8?
D8.
Okay.
Seven. Okay, this is a group DC. It's DC 50.
11.
11.
11 plus 11 plus 8. Is that correct? 8 for Kason? Okay. 22, 30.
7.
That's 8 from Julian.
8, 7. Okay.
And that will be 16 from Noe, who was going to sit this out, sees everybody struggling, and is like, "Oh no, I gotta step in."
You do so. And the lot of you, with your strength combined, have no problem wresting this thing out of the mud. There is a clunk and a foul squish as the Manip's shield is pushed down into the mud. He kneels down and starts pushing the mud off of it. The horse rears up a bit, pleasingly surprised that it has its freedom once again. Easy enough. The Blaze looks at you, Julianne. You look a hair familiar.
As do you.
Is there a temple here in this town? To any kind of lawful god?
No, unfortunately there isn't.
You know, my favorite precious metal is silver.
The Blaze narrows his eyes at you, giving you a smarmy look. Before you
Broad
realize
smile.
He's already flicked a silver at you. It hits you in the stomach. He's faster than you'd think. That's a good party trick, isn't it? Well, I knew when I saw you that you would be our heroes of the day. Now that we are up and about, Suppose we keep heading east.
Across the table. Is this the road that leads to the square? This is
That
the one that we would be following as well.
you would be heading the North Road.
Okay, we're
The
going one
North
more
Road
north.
leads to the far southern fields and then up into the square. They are heading east along the high road, which eventually leads to the bridge.
Okay.
Is the wagon full of melons?
No, it's not.
What's in it?
You steal a glance. Whatever it is, it's covered in a black tarp. Roll Insight, DC 19.
19. Okay, I'm gonna use guidance.
Okay.
Would oh, never mind.
23.
With a 23, what do you cover in a black tarp, Lady Saint Cyr?
Bodies?
Oh, I wonder if it's their own from the river.
Is there a smell coming off of that cart?
There is. It smells a bit ripe. Now that you focus in on it, you can smell it.
Julianne, is it common for the Flaming Fist to transport their deceased this way?
No. Even in times of heavy battle, just they would leave them there, maybe recover them at a later point, but not hidden in a wagon. If anything, they would boast their fallen as prideful, I suppose.
Noe expresses in a much more flowery way than I'm going to say that she's sorry, but they're going to have to fuck up these guys' day.
Let me. Oh no, it doesn't work.
Why?
Across the table, what cantrips did Tilt have a cantrip that can make wind?
Are you thinking of thaumaturgy?
That's
Or
right.
druidcraft?
Thaumaturgy could make wind, but I don't think it does.
I think so. I'll check the spell text, but in my mind, thaumaturgy is like a minor illusion type spell that can cause I think the characteristic thaumaturgy thing is makes the earth shake a little bit. So I think we could do wind if that was your intent, but I will read the thaumaturgy spell text if you doubt it.
Yeah, I've seen that the general thoughts about thaumaturgy are it's pretty confined to the 6 options from it, but I was just wondering if it would cause just enough wind to lift the corner of something. But
I would certainly allow thaumaturgy to provide minor wind to lift a flag, for example, to cause a banner to carry on the wind. And time is moving here. The Flaming Fists are heading east. Their single horse can't get this thing going very fast, but it is happily plodding along. 2 of the Flaming Fist soldiers are in the cart. 1 walks beside it.
well, I'm gonna do my best to kind of sneakily see if I can use thaumaturgy to lift up a corner of that tarp and see if there's anyone recognizable under it. If we can at least see colors of something. He's not sure if it's gonna work.
Julian's just going to walk around and hail for them to stop the cart.
I think both of these things, I'm going to resolve them both at the same time. You can use thaumaturgy to lift the corner of the black tarp that's on the back of their cart, getting the information that's already been gleaned, that there are bodies. You can see a foot sticking out. Kason. Julianne.
With a boot on or just a naked foot?
That's a very thoughtful question. This is a... There is no boot. This is a barefoot. But you know, Jucky Sourstump, that boots are often pulled off because they are a luxury in wartime. You know that boots are a rare quantity, especially sturdy ones that fit. So one soldier will, it is not without reason that they could have pulled the boots off. Julianne, you have to trot a little bit to catch up with the cart. Do you do so?
I do so.
And you ask for the cart to stop, is that correct?
Yes, or at the very least, to slow down.
The Blaze grabs the reins and pauses for a second. Looks like, again, he's trying to mentally categorize who you might be. Yes? I appreciate your help. Is there something else that we can do for you? I do owe you one, I suppose.
Well, I guess if you can help satiate my curiosity, what brings you heading east? I mean, we just came from the south, as you can tell. We're a little worn out, and the roads have been a little dangerous today. And I'm just more curious, if anything.
That's exactly right. The roads are dangerous, and we are here to hold the high road. The bridge here at this major supply route is critical to our trading network, and thus we are sent to reinforce it. We will hold the bridge. And bandits attacked us and other caravans along the way. You should be careful on the roads. I see you eyeing up our load. As I said, bandits.
Aye.
You should know full well if you attack merchants on the road, what fate could possibly find you.
If you were attacked by bandits, why would you load him in the wagon and take him back to the bridge? Wouldn't you just simply just throw them to the side of the road as a point to make to other bandits?
If they were our own, we'd burn the bodies. To your point, if we wanted to make a point, I suppose we could have strung them up on the side of the road, but I think if there's no lawful god with an altar in this little spit of a town, I suspect we'll throw them in the river.
Umberly likes that.
So do the krakens that surround the Pirate Isles.
Let's see. Well, bandits, it is. He's looking directly at Noe, who seemed to be inciting violence towards them. Perhaps we should make way to booze, was it? He looks back to Tilda.
Would it be possible just to take a quick look at them? I myself, this town has been missing so many people.
Oh, that's right. Our marshal is still missing in this area, but I assure you, he's not among the dead.
I have not seen my brother for several days. Would it be possible to just look very quickly to make sure his body is not among yours?
Is your brother a bandit?
No.
Very well. I suppose there's no problem here. You are...
Arsinoe Saint Cyr?
Roll persuasion, DC 10.
Okay. I'm using my... She has an oath thing that gives her advantage on persuasion check, so she gets a 19. The other one was a nat 1.
Noted. The Blaze gives you a disaffected look. Very well. I would hate to think that my brother is dying on a foreign field somewhere, so very well. Put the cloth back when you're done.
Thank you. I'll be quick.
Thank you. That means a lot to her. with so many different, I guess, individuals, armies, and such coming into this area lately, a lot of people have been going missing. So it's been a very tragic past 30 days, if you will.
We've
As
heard-
Noe is, as
No, you-
she's in movement towards the back of the cart, Rain will come up behind Tilda and pat her on the shoulder. In the off chance. Is it to motion you towards Noe?
Tilda will smile and take a crow hop.
Noe will very gingerly peel back the black cloth. Whomst is underneath?
There are a total of 4 bodies stacked here underneath the cloth in the back of the cart. You recognize one. This is no bandit. This is Bill Kress. His left leg has been taken off at the shin. Do you keep digging?
I'll
There's
grab
only-
Noe's arm as this happens. Gasp.
There's only 4 bodies there, and she sees all 4. Or are you saying she would have to dig to see?
You'd have to get your hands a little bit dirty here, Arsinoe.
Okay.
Can I see
She-
Arsinoe's expression from where I am?
Is her vibe.
Sure. Actually, her visor's down, so she's just she's holding herself very straight. But she does call out to the front. One of these men belongs to the town.
The Blaze looks over his shoulder at you. Again, he seems somewhat disaffected.
Will it bother you if I take his corpse to be buried with the others?
Wouldn't be any trouble for us. In fact, we'd appreciate it if you can give him proper rights. I grant that he probably deserves that. As I
He will
said, we were searching for an altar to a lawful god. I will entrust his body to you.
Thank you. Our worship here is very personal. Many of the houses here have altars of their own inside, but this town was not large enough to fund a temple yet. She sort of, I think Tilda can tell she's talking just to keep herself breathing properly as she goes to lift the body. As she does so, can she see the others?
You can. You can see the next body. You recognize it. It's Ranwalk Lauren.
No!
He's missing his right arm. His head has been brutalized by a blunt weapon. His face is barely recognizable, but you'd know that hair anywhere.
Just from how long they're taking, I'm going to make assumptions and step in front of these two.
Tilda will vomit.
You do so. Acid fills your nose. Your mind swims.
Can Jackie and I react as we hear that?
I think even Noe screams a little bit. She's so surprised and dismayed.
Dismay grips your heart. You let loose a scream. The 3 Flaming Fist soldiers all look at you as if something must be wrong with you.
If I may, gentlemen.
That one attacked us on the road. I thought you weren't friends with bandits.
Are you sure you misread the situation? Where on the road did they attack you?
That one, he looks back over his shoulder. The silver-haired one came at us. He approached us all by himself. He had
Unarmed?
he was armed. He had a sword and a shield. His shield's back there too if you want to take a look. Probably a cultist. There's a cult of the sun up in the mountains, something like that. I'm sure you've heard of it.
That shield was mine. I gave it to him.
The Blaze isn't sure if you're joking or not.
As they mentioned, many of these households have their own altars, and we all worship many different gods. It is not uncommon for us to share between the houses either.
I will cast Detect Thoughts.
On,
The Manip, the one talking to us.
the Blaze is speaking to you, the major, the ranking officer. You try to...
The Blaze.
You reach into his mind. He is thinking about...
I'm probing about the encounter on the road.
He is currently thinking about how much he wants to be at home, how good it would be to sleep in his own bed. He is counting the days. He has a mental progress checklist for when he's going to be home in Amun. Thinking back, he was attacked on the road yesterday. You can picture it from his perspective, Tilda. Ran, squaring up against the 3 Flaming Fist soldiers, charging them on the road, trying to best them and being bested instead. It was all over in an instant. It happened so quickly. Cut down. He came running out of the tree line. You can see in his eyes what he was seeking to avenge. Your home, your mom, your town, your father, all of it. It all stacks up like so much cordwood.
Tilda doubled over. Will grab Noe's arm
The smell assaults your nostrils.
and say in Celestial, "Get him from these monsters."
She grabs onto Tilda very briefly before I assume she rests away to sort of try to get herself under control, and then turns back to Chucky and says, "Can you help me carry these bodies?
Yeah.
This one is her brother."
The Monip sitting...
Chucky
Go ahead, you first.
looks at Tilda, wondering.
She's shaking.
Shocked, yeah.
Did you say you gave him the shield? It's merely scrap if you want it back. Did you sell it to him?
No, I was trying to give him something that would keep him safe. Elaine Lochlauren said that the Fists were going east and bringing her son back. Were you planning to meet with Elaine Lochlauren? I'm trying to figure out where did she get that notion that someone was returning him.
I don't know what you're talking about, or an Elaine Lochlauren. That name doesn't mean anything to me. Is she with the Fist?
She's from Evening Star.
It means nothing to me. We're from Amun.
Do you know nothing about this town that you're servicing?
Not truly. I know it's the easternmost point of our trade network. I know it's critical. I know it's important that we keep the peace here. I know that a lot of you seem rather suspicious. Friends with bandits, giving people weapons, shields. In the future, you should be more careful who you associate with.
Shut up.
Noe very quickly hands the body of Bill off to Chucky while she goes to get Rand. Who's underneath Rand?
You see a familiar face. You've run into this man before, but you don't know his name. He was on the road up toward the Druid Grove. A poacher? A leather worker?
Hmm.
Not Julian.
No.
Okay.
Something about him seems vaguely familiar.
He
With the
said
guy at the tent.
that was Julian with the tent, wasn't it? Or
There was a guy there.
Oh, well, he said he said his name was Julian, but I think that was a fake name.
The lot of you are free to draw your own conclusions from this information.
Jason, can you grab this one as well?
I'll take that one. Can we take a fiver in just a little bit? I need to rearrange some chords and stuff.
Why don't we do it now?
For the final body.
Back in 5.
Well, fuck.
I was typing that too.
What's the murder? Cyric?
Cyric,
Yes, Lark
God of Madness.
Lark was an assassin of Cyric.
Yeah, Cyric.
Oh, I thought we were talking about the bird.
We were talking about my character. I don't get to be a PC very often. My character in Dave's game, Brost,
Brost.
was a halfling assassin, Lark.
This is the same campaign that I played in.
Yes.
Yeah, different run,
I was
same
going
campaign.
to say that must have been a very different tone.
It was.
Yeah.
They detonated the city in the final act.
Oh, fuck.
It was, and I was Arbrost the first run? Was Arbrost 1.0? No, Arbrost was 2.0. Oh, that's right. Yes, because you ran it with your moderator friends, right? That was the first Bros, and then we were Bros 2, and then Frample and friends that was Bros 3.
What a cozy little campaign that was.
It was so different every time. It might as well have been a different campaign.
Hello? Anybody there? Hello? Hello?
Hello. Yes.
Hello,
Hello.
we
Hey,
hear
we can
you.
hear
Hear you. Hi.
Okay, sorry. Speakers were being
It's okay. We're still waiting on Vlad, I think.
stinky after changing monitors. Okay.
Oh, did you guys know?
So you're telling me...
Go ahead.
Good, no, go ahead.
I met Andrew yesterday for the first time ever. Isn't that fun?
Oh, how was it?
Hell yeah.
It was great. I took him to Mississippi Ave. We had a really good time. I've known him for a really long time online, so it's always cool to meet somebody for the first time in person. He's very charming and cool, and of course, we got along swimmingly from moment one. He's very funny. I'm pretty personable. He might be more personable than me, which is hard to do.
I hate to say it, but I think you're right.
He's very outgoing. Very good.
If anybody has, like, golden Labrador or fucking extrovert energy, that's Andrew.
But we got a little crazy. We had one beer each, and then we're home before dark.
Cerveza.
Nice. Had to get him out on the East Coast again. Had a great time with him when he was out here.
Tamarind log.
Tamarind log.
We were at
Waffles' girlfriend, wife? Question mark?
Girlfriend.
I'm not unsure. Girlfriend runs a restaurant that we went to in DC, and they make fucking delicious desserts that I still think about a year later.
Mm-hmm.
at Latcher. We brought me, Falmari, Moosey, some other people. Brought Dopey to a restaurant that Waffles' girlfriend runs. It's like a Michelin star restaurant in DC. And halfway through the meal, like, by the way, she's cooking us the whole menu. She's just putting plates in front of us. She loves feeding people. Halfway through the meal, he goes, "Yeah, I haven't eaten meat in 11 years." He's like, "This is the first time I've eaten meat in 11 years."
Dopey said that?
Yeah, and like
Mhm.
we like called her out of the kitchen to let her listen to this, and she's like, "This is the biggest compliment I've ever received."
That's wild.
Let me get my game face back on.
Yeah.
I was pretty
yeah.
upset before break.
10 seconds.
What's under tarp number 4?
Resuming. Yes, there is still a body there should you really wish to liberate them of all their bodies. You've certainly unladen their cart quite a bit already.
This is the worst magic trick I've ever seen.
The blaze turns and looks at you, Julian. He's strumming the side of the cart, hitting it with his outstretched fingertips. Anything else we can do for the lot of you? Again, you saved us who knows how many hours for us to wait for someone else to get us out of the ditch, so certainly I apologize for your, if you did know these people, for your loss. That being said, we have orders to keep moving.
Well, if you don't mind, I'm going to ask you to stop for just a moment more. How you dealt with these men, these individuals, one, they are not bandits. Two, they're townsfolk of this town that you are supposed to be servicing and protecting. The latter which you have failed. And just the sheer brutality you've shown upon these individuals is just astronomical. What were you thinking?
He leans down off the cart towards you. What was I thinking? What were these ones thinking? What happens when you attack someone on the road? We could have just as easily been unarmed merchants.
But you're not.
That one that
I
you
don't.
seem so taken aback with, he came at us with a sword on the road. He stood
And
in
you
our
couldn't
way.
disarm him? It's 3 against 1.
Is it our responsibility to seek an honorable fight? If we do wish to protect this town that you wish us to, should we attempt to fulfill the duties that you demand of us, part of that is keeping the roads safe.
We pay you. And if you kill enough of us, we won't have the money to.
Fine, sure. We can excuse one of them, maybe if he attacked you or not. But what of the other fellow whose leg is severed?
At least it's not your leg. Or mine.
These 3 individuals were last seen miles apart. You were beset upon 4 individual times by 4 individuals in the last, what, day and a half?
Roll insights, DC 15.
I'll give you guidance, so you get a D4.
13.
13 with guidance, 13 total.
Mhm.
Noted. The Blaze takes the reins as if he's perhaps expecting something to happen soon. I'm not out here to take an inventory. I'm not out here to take a census. If somebody attacks me on the road, I take their head or their leg or their arm or their life. We are maintaining order here, one bandit at a time. And we will go and protect your bridge for you, ensuring the steady flow of commerce so that you are able to, as you said, pay us.
What is your name?
I don't think you need to know my name. You gave me yours, which may have been a mistake.
No, this is a command. What is your name?
Roll intimidation, DC 20.
Can I give advantage to that?
On what basis?
On Jucky sitting there with his crossbow looming over.
Ooh, that is pretty reasonable. Yeah, I think that's well, how about this? Both of you can roll intimidation, and we'll take the higher roll. You're splitting advantage between the two of you for whichever one of you has a more threatening countenance in this moment.
What is the dice for bless?
It is 1d4.
2d4.
Yours is 2d4 because you passed an optional check. Sorry, Frample, I didn't mean to cut you off.
So with my roll plus guidance plus the 2d4 bless, I get a 23.
Looking between the two of you, he answers almost mechanically, as if he's used to providing this as an answer to things. He says, Blaze Stafford, Fort Blaze.
Thank you.
You know Fort Blaze. It is a... Go ahead.
No, keep giving me information.
Okay. Fort Blaze is between Elturel and Athkatla on the road in Amun.
Who is the final body? Jason is picked up. Not Julian.
You... Well, let me see the map here. Let's see. There is another body here. It's not someone that you recognize, Arsinoe. Whoever it is lean, lanky. They have a couple what appears to be defense wounds on their hands and forearms. They seem to have rigor mortis seems to have set in. This person seems very stiff.
Human or elf?
Human. Male. Not anyone that you recognize readily.
Okay. I think it being not a townsfolk, Noe will not think to remove this corpse.
It's not an evening starin. The Blaze, albeit nervous at this point, after your successful intimidation, is still holding the reins with both hands. You sense that he would go for the sword on his hip if it wasn't an obvious hostile action, and he wasn't feeling a bit outnumbered. You've now taken 3 of the 4 bodies out of the back of this wagon, and is there anything else? Please put that tarp back when you're done. I appreciate that you're taking these for us, and I hope that you will give them the necessary rights. I appreciate your concern, but we haven't done anything that is against the laws of this place.
She turns
Uh,
to the Manip and says, "As my hands are full, would you be so kind as to adjust the tarp?"
Forgive me.
the
Who was that at?
The Manip? The Manip?
That was at the Monip. Okay. Yes, the Monip walks over, makes eye contact with you, Arsinoe. You imagine that perhaps he's wondering what you look like under the visor and fixes the tarp. Ariadne, you were about to say something.
I will address the blaze and say, these men who came upon you, I'm assuming most of them, as you said, have ran, came at you with weapons. This is a strange question, but the fair-haired one, the bard with injuries on his wrists, he didn't attack in a less conventional manner, did he? Was anyone bitten?
Bitten?
But-
No. No one was bitten.
Good.
We put him down with crossbows. Distance is a formidable opponent, wouldn't you say?
Just across the table to indicate who has whose bodies at this point. I know that Jackie is in possession of Bill. Where are the other two currently?
Noe has ran and she asked Kaysen to take not Julian's.
To be clear, I'm not being cute about that. This is not the
Okay.
Moving on. Probably more saliently, if you are holding a corpse to your chest or something like that, please make that very clear. Otherwise, I'm sort of assuming that you have it like resting at your feet or something like that. All three of these bodies have been decomposing for a day and are very pungent and shocking to you. It is not an easy mental task to hold a corpse to your chest. So I'm assuming that it's more you have possession of it in the sense that it is near you.
My question more so is also for the comfort of others. Rain, of anyone here outside of Julian, does know what a dead body looks and feels like. He knows that his favorite little kid just ran off and her dead brother's right in front of them. He'll approach Kaysen, who still has the wrapped sword, the false one, correct? Kaysen, if you don't mind. And he'll begin to try to tug it off of your back. It would be best if she didn't see any more than she has to.
Right.
He's trying to take the tarp part of the sword, which you wrapped it up with from the vampire's den, and will begin to wrap the head of Rain away, as you said it was brutalized.
The one in the cart, that's the one who attacked me, the one I cast a necrotic spell on, apparently. I don't know if he should be buried in Evening Star. Maybe it's better for him to go wherever they're taking him.
And perhaps crossbows aren't enough. Let's pray. He'll pin the wrappings over Rand's body with the half cape that he wears, that little brooch.
You do so. Tilda, acid and tears fight for control of your esophagus.
Tilda is 50 paces up road, hugging a tree, and cursing Selune.
How hard do you curse, Tilda?
He was your dumbest, most loyal follower, and you couldn't fucking stop this shit? I thought you hate Shar. What's your problem? can't help the lowest of us? What's the issue?
You curse the Moon Maiden. She does not whisper back.
Good.
As tensions are simmering clearly around this cart, and we've held them up for a lot longer than they are willing to let live, he'll look to Noe. You let them go. It seems more of a question.
I don't know if they're telling the whole truth, but I believe them that they were at least attacked twice. This one was probably just looking for a meal.
Let's hope it was the storms then.
They said they were going to dump the remaining in the water. We probably shouldn't let them take that one. We
I
should
can't
burn
carry
it.
two.
And then should we
Putting something
just ask
that
for the
fest-
cart?
Down.
We can't commandeer the whole cart from them. I mean, I can try. I can demand it from them as envoy and representative of the town, but I don't know how that will go over.
I'll attempt to pass off the one I'm currently in possession of to take the fourth one.
If you want me to try to take the cart, I will do
We
so.
won't let it go. Rain will look over the shoulder as they're trying to deliberate, trying to take the cart, and bark out to the blaze on the top of the cart. I'm a doctor. House Stanavir. This one is poxed. You need to burn the body.
No check necessary. The blaze looks at you and nods. There was a way about him. I could tell something was wrong. Too pale. Sickly. That makes sense. Very well. We entrust you. Was that one Arsinoe and her friends with the disposal of these bodies? Thank you for your service to us. We won't forget this.
Neither will we.
Hey, Shantae, keep your bellies full.
And may you have no further trouble down the road.
May Joaquin keep your coffers full. He shakes the reins.
Kay's attempting to manipulate two bodies at once, so he grabs Kiwi out of the cart.
Well,
Is
they're letting
trying to.
they're letting them take QE to be burnt. This is across the table. I think that was Rain's play.
Oh,
It's to-
gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. Yep.
You
Okay,
guys,
I'm taking
you
not
guys
Julian then.
tell me what you're doing. Did you pull? And it is QE's body. Did you pull QE's body out of the cart? I thought you didn't. However,
If I'm convinced that Rain convinced them to take him and burn him rather than throw him in the river, then I'm just taking Julian.
Yes, of course. Yes, we just resolved that. Okay. Yes, you have all four bodies. They have an unladen cart. Thank you for setting me straight.
Wait, no.
Yeah, sorry, we're still not straight. She just said she left the body on the cart. They have QE. We have the other three.
And Rain, okay, so this is where, and Rain said this body is poxed, and this fits with, this comports with what they want. You now have four bodies. You have a pile of biomass, horrible, moldering flesh here, seeping
Wait, no,
into
I
the
thought
flagstones. Yes?
We have three bodies. There were four. We have three. We took Bill, Ran, and the stranger. We
Okay.
left
The
the
trapper.
fourth on the cart, QE, because Rain said this body is poxed. Please go burn it, and they agreed.
I thought Rain requested that he burn the body. Is that not right? Am
Got
I
it.
wrong?
Got
Okay.
it.
Okay, then there is still a QE. Got it. Okay, thank you. We pick up where we left off. The cart is heading east with QE's body. And
I can
again,
see the tankard from here, right?
yes, you can.
That's the building to the north.
No, that's not the building to the north. That's farther down the road. But you can see, so directly to the north, you can see the limit of the southern fields, which is just south of Southwest Evening Star, where the market is. You can see like the edge of the market. However, the Lonesome Tankard is a bit sort of up on a hill, a little bit near Chateau Saint Cyr, so you can see far in the distance the outline of the building over the trees. The cart
I think we hang
continues
and
moving east.
watch the cart travel on down the road a little bit. Rain will look to Julianne, who's the only one of us that is not carrying someone, I think. Or, either case. Can you look after, maybe get a cart back this way?
To get a cart here?
I mean, we're going to be walking through town with 3 bodies.
That's. Yeah, understandable. Okay. Let me head to town and I'll come back as soon as I can.
We do this off screen. You are able to secure it was used this morning to load sunmelons from the fields to the northern docks. It still smells a bit sweet, but you now have a cart, and we can do this. We can theater of the mind the whole travel sequence here. You have a cart. You can put these 3 bodies in it. You do so.
I would like to present the cart to the burnt out building of Tilda's family. Yeah, sorry. Loch Lawrence, thank you. Insofar as keeping them tarped, if there are people on the road, not to alert and alarm them with these dead bodies.
Understood. Yes, as you pass Red Claw laborers walking from the fields, heading to their temporary homes for the night, as you see people filtering into vacation homes, as you see people heading to the inn, as you see people winding down for the night, you are pulling bodies around and you keep them under guard.
I get the sense that this one was the one that we left was a new vampire. I don't think he was going to last long. Waiting at the crossroads in the middle of the night to hunt whoever comes by is no way to secure a meal without getting killed. Well, I suppose there was probably nothing to be done.
We do what we can.
How could you have been so stupid?
I'd imagine hunger makes people desperate.
If not, Chewie ran.
I think he wanted revenge. We told them they did that.
That wasn't him. He was so sweet.
He probably thought himself a hero in the moment, flaming fist enemies of the town.
Shining guard tower, sword in hand. As they've presented the bodies to the ruins of the manor, Rain will attempt to find a shovel and begin to dig a hole. He's not going to put it in there. It is more of a ahead of time thing to prepare the unfortunate news that will inevitably travel to his mother.
One moment. Give me 1 second here. I think this is appropriate. You coalesce at Rain's lead, Rain having some experience and some fears around carriages. You successfully lead this cart to the ruins of the Loch Lawrence house. The action's once again with the party.
I will take the shield that I loaned to Ran and drive it into the ground and take a few moments to get out my paint set from my pack. And on the front side of it, where most of the paint had peeled off in the fire, to paint a night sky and moon on it.
You do so, Kaysen of Ilmater, painting a night sky scene, a vision of somewhere far away from here on the front of your former shield.
Jucky will try to get Julian and Rain in a side huddle for a second.
Sure.
This is a bit peculiar, don't you think?
Which part of it? As he drives the spade into the dirt.
Okay, so from what I gathered, the boy makes sense. He was angry. He attacked him. By himself. Families like that gets the blood going. Sure. What about these other two?
It doesn't line up. I tried to get answers out of them, but they just
Well,
kept
you've got the
insisting that-
bodies. Y'all are medically inclined, right? Is there anything about the bodies that seems... Were they also vampires?
Didn't think to check.
I didn't either. I was caught up in the situation and talking to them.
I suppose we do what we do best. He'll begin to unwrap the headpiece of Rand specifically.
Jucky's starting to wonder that, like, everyone in this town is a fucking vampire.
A quick, albeit morbid, check reveals a lack of fangs in any of the bodies in question.
It wasn't vampirism.
It's possible that after being attacked twice, they just decided to be extremely conservative with anyone else that approached them,
It could be.
especially given recent disappearances.
Who were these two?
Bill Cress
this
was
one
wasn't he the ferryman?
I would imagine Rain would have seen him coming off the ferry.
The farrier,
We saw him.
a this is a very minor point, but a farrier is actually someone who shoes horses, has nothing to do with a ferry.
Oh, he was that. Oh no.
I totally missed that. Yeah.
I got the word wrong. Yep,
I
I was wondering the other night if I misremembered it, but it was like 11 p.m. and the thought was lost as I went to
So
sleep.
Bill was the one that was in the Lonesome Tankard, where the blacksmithing place would be. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
That's exactly right.
Okay.
He was Mikhail's friend.
What was he doing on the road, though?
He ran off.
So it seems these two were just laborers, at best.
Well, the way the bodies were stacked, meaning he was probably the one most recently killed. And Rand was the second most recent. So I don't know if the reasoning of them just being self-defensive more so than usual kind of checks out, or doesn't check out.
Until the flaming fist can be brought more in line, or at least brought to trial, I don't know. Should some kind of curfew be put in place around the town?
It's not for me to say. As far as bringing them to justice, bringing them to law, you live in their lands. It is their law. Their sword is law. Their taxes on your melons, or these melons, not yours specifically. Their commodities can only come from the people. They sit on a bridge. Perhaps there shouldn't be a bridge.
Might be a
Things for tomorrow.
great first spot to test out one of those seed bombs.
As I understand wanting to bring them to justice, but destroying critical infrastructure probably isn't the most ideal way of dealing with 3 of them.
At least your head's still on level. Dig another pile of dirt.
Rain, as you dig into the dirt, you can imagine a beautiful world where your shovel digs and hits salt water.
Just kind of seeps in there.
I'm just saying, I've seen bloodthirsty killers before. Those through back there. No, I don't think so. I think they were right to defend themselves. So, what the
I
hell is
believe-
going on in this town?
I believe right here, in the wake of these ruins, an elderly Lochlaurin oracle predicted that psychic storms were rolling through. Maybe you're right. Maybe they weren't acting themselves. Maybe Shar is seeping into every single one of them. Who's to say?
Shar.
What's to say?
He nods towards where I assume Noe is consoling Tilda. The Saint Seer said as much.
So
I believe her.
you got vampires. You got Jucky kind of turns to the tavern with some disgust. You got Loaf worshippers, and you got vampires or Shar. I don't.
It seems to be all 4.
Trust
That's
me, we're
about
still trying to
5% of
piece
the
together the
population.
overwhelming details as well.
On top of all that, we're about to go spelunking to some primordial entity. Wonderful place to take your summers. I knew him too, you know.
As did I.
I saw him when he was born, is what I mean. I wasn't close. I wasn't paid to tutor him. I don't know how to swing a sword.
No, but you witnessed the life being brought.
He did.
Now it's extinguished. From the sheer brutality of the flaming fist claiming self-defense. I am unfortunately
it's any-
powerless to do anything about.
We're only powerless as so far as we say we are. If you don't see me in the morning for a minute, don't go looking for me. I'll be there for what we need to do.
Send your bat if you'll be late.
Oh, you're right. He takes his bat out of his chest breast pocket. He's kind of forgotten that it exists outside of wriggling. I assume it's probably been asleep this whole time. He'll jostle it to life. This dumb thing couldn't find its way home if it wanted to, and he'll flit it away.
You do so. With an irregular gait through the air, it flies to the east.
It's no Willoughby. I just like the thing.
I mean, Willoughby just started off as a normal bird for me, too.
Yes, well. Despite the fact that I hold the magics in my blood, I never gave it sentience. Can't carry a picture. Can't carry a word. And truthfully told, I don't want to take it into any more danger. If we're going to do what we do tomorrow, at least Licorice will live.
That's
Do you have any idea of what we might find in them caves tomorrow?
You want an honest answer, or what's been rattling around in the back of my head this entire time?
Maybe both.
It seems to be that Laird struck a pact to protect what he loves. Ed
Who
did the
is
same.
Laird?
Right, who knew? Her father, he'll point to Noah. He's the one we went to the manor to go see who he's faring. He's a massive machine in his basement. Unscrupulous in terms of what it does, that's not the right word. They struck a pact to protect what they loved. They did what they had to. Perhaps for his wife, perhaps for Noe. I'm unsure. Whatever lies at the end of that cave was likely never an aboleth. Perhaps it just moved in. I think it's older. It got shimmied, maybe. The machinations of a man too powerful for his own good. Perhaps the spell plague wrought it. But whatever is down there is extremely powerful, enough to raise the dead, the undead, back to life. Enough that a man with a sword of a god wishes to do his rites there. A man who wants to raise his wife there. A place filled with Loth worshippers, Shar worshippers, Lathandrites. Whatever is down there is beyond that. So, we're going to take our children down into a cave with a vicious beast. Do you think that's the right thing to do? As he says, and piles one more piece of dirt onto a pile.
Well, the bodies are starting to rack up already. It seems like the sooner the better.
Agreed.
Agreed. If there's any casualties from that cave, and if they include us, hopefully it'll be the last.
You said people came back from the dead?
That man you helped me push into a pyre, Des. He's a vampire. He's already dead. This, he gestures to his eye socket, or what is bandaged of it. Cart accident. He was driven through by a plank, enough to kill a vampire, allegedly. A poultice made of a little flower that allegedly grows in a cave brought him back to life. That's what she's looking for. That's what I was looking for.
I think that's still what I'm looking for. But now I don't know. Whatever's down there, more than likely needs to be removed. I'm loath to say it, but if that's also the focus of my research, I will let it go with the cave. Maybe we had to just remove the cave.
You can imagine it in your mind's eye, Julian. Sometimes a tumor is simply too big to be removed. The sun begins to set in the trees to your west, casting long shadows here in the ashes.
We have 2 spread men running. We should get some sleep. Soonish, at least. They're going to need to let her mother know. I don't imagine this one, he gestures towards Bill and the other body. I don't imagine they want to be buried here. They have to be allocated to where they need to belong. If we don't come back from the cave, no one would know.
That's true.
Noe has her arms around Tilda. I think by this time, especially with having gotten the cart and coming back, she's actually taken her armor off. Instead of her visor, she has kind of this semi-sheer fabric draped over her face, and she has the padded slip that she wears under her armor, which is finely embroidered, but nowhere near as ornate as her armor. She's taken it off since it touched Rand in some way. She doesn't want it on her or think Tilda would be pleased by its proximity, but she has, I think, not really had much to say. Whatever Tilda wants to say, she will listen and just hold her.
No way. Do you remember when Rand and I, we ran up to the St. Cyr Manor, and Rand, I think he was trying to flirt with you, and we threw rocks at your window, and we accidentally broke your mother's window. She summoned the Mephit, and the Mephit froze all the flowers in the front yard, and we ran away. I don't know if you knew that was us.
Well, Rand kept leaving things under my window. I don't know if he climbed up. It sort of seems his type, doesn't it? Or if he learned magic to get stuff up there. But
Learn magic? Randlock Lauren. You know, the last thing I told him was to fuck himself.
I don't think I even looked at him. I think
That's the last thing I
he
told him.
bothered. He knows you love him, Tilda.
How am I going to tell my mother? I should have gone with him. I should have been there. He ran like a fool. He died like a fool, just like my father.
He shouldn't have left. He shouldn't have died for it, but he shouldn't have left.
Oh, you're embracing me. Very awkwardly try and take the saber out of my scabbard. The rapier, rather.
What are you doing?
Take this from me. I can't die like them. I can't do it.
What are you saying?
I'm not like them. I can't do this. They both thought they were dying for something. I can't die for something this stupid.
I'm sorry that he was alone, but you are never going to be. I promise you. I can't promise that we're gonna survive the next day. I have to believe that there will continue to be something worth working for in this town. I can't give up on that, but if we do
I'm
die
sorry.
tomorrow,
I don't care if I die. I'm sorry you two don't have the life you were supposed to have together.
she sort of leans back at that.
I have to tell my mother. She's gonna be angry with me. I'll cast message. I'll reach out to my mother. Rand's dead. We're burying him at the house. But you already knew this.
There is a long pause in your mind till the end. As is usual with the message spell, you're left with a long moment where you wonder if it landed. And then suddenly in your brain, screaming anguish, a low, keening wail that splits your head. And in that moment, you realize that she did not know.
I'll put my hands over my ears, even though that's not helpful. He was always her favorite.
I think I'm having connectivity issues.
Yeah,
We
just
are
trying to
all having
restart.
connectivity issues.
So this is
Yeah.
a Discord issue.
Hello?
Oh, PowerPoint presentation. I can't see shit.
Okay. So it's still, yes, everyone's still deeply roboted for me.
Yeah, it's not Discord wide. I assume it's probably our server that it's trying to ping through. If you want to try to
Changing
either
the-
change
changing
the
the
Discord server
region.
itself, yeah, or move to a different Discord server.
I'll always migrate everybody to my Discord.
Yeah, it's fine over there apparently.
Yeah. Well, I also pay for it, so.
It seems fine for me now.
Yeah, it's caught up.
Mm,
Whenever
Yep, it
Frankel
caught up.
gets back.
Yeah, it's moving.
Okay. Someone was about to talk when like everything roboted for me, so just catching back. Who was about to deliver something? Are we still roboted? Are we still
A little bit, yeah.
experiencing connectivity
Voice
issues?
is coming through smooth, but images are still a little laggy.
Video's a little choppy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can live with that.
Why don't we drop off video?
Okay.
Why don't we different solution entirely? I could stand to chop it here. I know it's a little bit early and there's a few things I wanted to resolve, but certainly I'm happy to pick up here
Mhm.
next time. Is that okay? Could we cut it here? I think.
Yeah, I'm just
It seemed-
worried about the next session being last.
I understand. Yes, I also have those concerns. We can do some leveling up offline to make it a little bit easier.
Yeah. Just assume
Yeah.
that the rest will happen and just have your character prepared at level 7 or whatever it is.
Precisely. Yes. Let's do that. Prepare a character sheet for level 7, and I'll give you. I just need to hop off. And I will give you guys some updates on anything that's necessary. But yes, let's prepare for level 7 characters. We'll pick up exactly where we left off, or I'll write a lead in for it, and I will see you guys in 2 weeks. Okay.
See you in
Sounds
2
great.
weeks.
Good night.
Also,
Sounds
I
good.